Hi, this is Masood with the second part of the website scraping. Today I'm gonna tell you how to scrape dynamic websites. If you haven't seen my first video about scraping the static websites, then I would suggest that you take a look at it first. But if you're not a beginner, just forget about the previous video and go ahead with this one. As a recap, we are using Python and Selenium in this tutorial. In dynamic web pages, there might be a piece of JavaScript code that changes the page. For example, it might create new web elements or modify the existing ones. In this case, we will face a problem in scraping the page with Selenium. Actually, Selenium takes a snapshot from the first moment that the page is loaded into the browser. So obviously it doesn't include the elements that are created later by JavaScript. So I will show you a few techniques to make sure that the page is fully loaded before you try to get it by Selenium. Actually, we do something like having the Selenium wait or click on a button or scroll down the page. Then if we get the contents, we will have the proper web elements. Here is an example of a dynamic website. I would like to pull the data from this table. But before that, let's check if this table is created by JavaScript or not. It's so easy, just press F12 and then hold Ctrl and Shift and press P. In this panel, start typing JavaScript and then click on Disable JavaScript. Now the page doesn't run JavaScript anymore. Now if you reload the page, you will see that some parts of the page are not loaded. That's because they are created by JavaScript. Let's see how we can grab that part. Before we continue, let's first enable JavaScript again. In this project, we will need a few more classes from Selenium package. So let's start with adding WebDriver and then WebDriver wait, and then EC to handle the expected conditions, and finally I add by. Here is the plan. Reload the page by WebDriver and then make it wait for a few seconds until some condition happens. And the condition is the emergence of the elements that we need. So I will start with adding a new WebDriver object. It actually adds a new web browser to the program. Using this object, we can load the page. Before we proceed, let's inspect the element that we want to grab. As you see, the table is labeled by this ID, so we can use it to get the data. Selenium will wait for a maximum of 20 seconds until an element with this ID is present. Let's pull the data from the table row by row. To do this, we should find the class name of the rows. By moving the mouse over this part, you can locate the entire row and copy the class name. Now we can get all the rows as a list and put them in a variable. As you see, there are 42 rows in this table. So let's write a for loop to print out all the text in the rows. Here we have the text, but let's do something better. We can separate the lines by a split function. It means that the variable named string array contains a list of the lines of the row. So now we can print out some specific lines, not the whole text. In this example, I just print the first and second line, which corresponds to time and city. Now I would like to go further and collect the data for other days as well. As you see, the data that I'm grabbing is just for Friday, but I would like to get Tuesday as well. So I can make Selenium click on Tuesday first and then grab the data. To do this, first inspect one of the days buttons to get the class name. And then find all the days elements. Tuesday is in the days variable with index 2. So what I should do is to call click function for that. Then I just copy the contents of the upper cell to grab the information inside the rows. Here we go.